Money without purpose produces nothing. Remember, you are the purpose. I got that. I got that. Why be okay when you can be better? Don't be comfortable. Why is it so important for you with the little money that you're making? That part. Can I say that again? Everything ain't for everybody. And that's okay. You just gotta, yeah.
She got attitude.
I don't even know how I came across this book, but I do love the actress. Her name is Yvonne Orji. Yvonne starred in an HBO series written by Issa Rae. Insecure, you know her. So she wrote this book called Bamboozled by Jesus. One day something just told me to get the book, and I'm so glad I did. So let me just be clear with everyone. She talks about Jesus Christ in this book. It's not a religious type of book, it's her account of the scripture readings that was taught to her when she was younger. Scripture reading, it means something different for everybody depending on your walk of life. Well, for her, she transforms what she believed these scriptures to be and apply them to her life. If you are very sensitive to that kind of thing, don't read the book. I personally don't feel as though she offended Christ or the religious part of it at all. I don't feel there was any disrespect. The account she gave was the account she perceived based on the scripture, and she just turned it around to make it meaningful for her, and she wrote about it in her book. Now, some people, of course, everything ain't for everybody. So some people are not going to really be able to resonate with what she did and how she did it, how she transformed the scripture to be what she understood it to be. And that's okay. But if you are sensitive to the whole religious thing, I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I was able to listen to the book, resonate with the book, have some laughs, and just enjoy it. If you're going to be depicting everything she says about the scripture and what came out of the Bible, this ain't the book for you. I'm putting it out there because for me, I enjoyed it. I like the book, but I do understand it's not going to be for everybody. All y'all holy rollers out there, don't read the book. Move on to something else. Don't read the book. No matter what context you choose to put it in, it does make you think. So I'll tell you my chapters, and if you're interested, go check it out, or maybe go on Audibles, because this also was an audiobook that she read, telling you get the audio book that the author actually reads, because it's a whole other experience. So let's talk about that. I think I'm going to start with chapter 4. This chapter was about I said it, I mean it, I represent it. Say what you mean what you say, kind of thing. It's ironic that I started with the chapter 4, that part of it, because that's sort of what I was stating when I was telling you about the book. She said it, she meant it, and she's representing it. This is her book, and a lot of people have read it, so it's got some really good reviews. You just gotta, yeah. Let's move on. What she's saying is it's equally important not to just know who you are, but whose you are, meaning who you belong to. She talked about how she didn't take certain risks because of whose she belonged to, her parents. And I guess they've instilled in her certain things you just don't do or shouldn't do. People often forget about that. You know who you are, but you don't necessarily respect or represent who you came from. Think about that. It's funny how I'm talking about these books and they're all kind of like colliding with one another in a good way. The 50 book collided a little bit in what Jennifer was talking about in her book. And now I'm getting ready to embark on something that Yvonne is talking about that's going to basically pull from what 50 was saying. In chapter 7, The name of the chapter is Miracles Don't Make Reservations. When 50 was saying that we don't always believe because we don't see. We have to see things to believe it. And if you just believe, get over that fear, you can pretty much do anything. I made sure that I noted this clip. This part of the chapter was talking about how she had went to a car dealership to get her very first car. She had a wish, but no funds. Like she had a wish for the $7,000 car, but her budget was only $5,000. However, she didn't let that deter her or stop her. She still went to that dealership for that particular car. 50 had talked about in his book getting ideas from God, but if he keep giving you the ideas and you're not using them, it ain't his fault. She was given this idea, Gen 1, a TV show. She never would do anything with it because she just didn't think she had the skills to write it. She couldn't see herself on the other side of success. She even went back to school to get some script writing lessons, and she still didn't feel that she was worthy enough and confident enough to write this show. Even though God had given her the idea, she made excuses as to why she wasn't ready. She let it fall by the wayside. She didn't follow through with it because in her mind, it was easier to go support somebody else's vision. Hello. That part. Here we go again. That's that whole mentality. Because you're afraid to do something, it's easier to support somebody else's vision. You can't see what's on the other side. What did 50 say about the fear? That fear will destroy you. And that's what's happening to her in the start of her career. That fear of not being able to see where she could be, which is the other side of fear of success. She's letting that fear cripple her. I never realized it until now how all of these three books that I've just talked about, they all collide with one another, pretty much stating the same thing, but differently. Interesting. She said her focus was shifted. Her focus was shifted into supporting other people's dream and helping them as opposed to writing the concept that God gave her for her own show, which was First Gen. So she says, don't be comfortable or complacent. 50 said the same thing, y'all, with the little money that you're making. Can I say that again? Because all right is not all right. Why be okay with a little bit when you could be making more? Why be okay with okay when you can be better? She said to remember the purpose is you. You are the purpose. You are the why. Money without purpose produces nothing. You got that? Purpose produces seeds. Seeds produce trees, and trees produce fruit. She dropped some knowledge with that one. Remember, the purpose is you. Remember that. Money without purpose produces nothing. Chapter 8. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. That ain't nothing new, right? We've been hearing that a lot. Well, apparently, in this chapter, she stresses how no one but you is going to understand your calling. Now, think about that. This is why you don't always tell people your vision, what you're getting ready to do next or go next, because they're not always going to understand it. You're going to have your ride or dies, your girl, your boy, you're going to have all of them, but not everybody is going to understand that vision. My motto is the glasses. Where are my glasses? When you go to get your prescription filled and you put them on, it's clear, right? Right? Take your glasses and give them to somebody else to read. They're not going to be able to see. That's your vision. They have to get their own vision. They're not going to be able to see your vision through your eyes, the glasses. Hence, and the quote that I love that she makes in reference to this is, no one but you understands your calling. God does not make conference calls. Hello. Let's move on to chapter 10. She's talking about settling. She's talking about it should be unsettling for you to settle. I agree with that. I resonate with that. I ain't settling for nobody, no thing, nothing. I'm not settling. For me, settling is failure for me. What she's saying is, until you get to that point where you feel unsettled because you're settling, you're not going to move out of that complacency. In chapter 15, there's a chapter that says, Put me in, coach. She talks about when you pray, you're praying for something to happen in your life, right? Don't get upset when that redirection don't look the way you thought it was going to look. And I get that, because even with this channel, the direction I started in ain't the direction it's taking off. And the direction I had last year in 2023 ain't the direction that I have in 2024. It's evolving. I'm evolving. It's changing. She talks about not being upset with that. You've prayed for this. However it comes down, however it's coming to you, embrace it. It may not look the way you think it should look, but that don't mean it ain't coming. If you can praise every time God says yes, then you also need to be able to embrace when he says no. Hello. I like that. I like that because just like you, I have been told no to a lot of things, not knowing why. But many years later, I'll be looking like, okay, I'm glad you said no. Think about them no's in your life when you really wanted something. And years later, you look back on, it could be a relationship. You wanted this person really, really bad, but they ain't love you the way you wanted to be loved, or they didn't love you the way you needed to be loved, because they couldn't love you the way you needed to be loved. God knew it. 5, 10 years later, you looking back and like, they ain't got no job, they doing horribly, or they strung out on drugs or in and out of jail. Their life just took a wrong turn. And see, God already knew that. He already knew that that wasn't for you. Jobs too. Them jobs, look, I remember a job that I really wanted in my early 20s. Wanted this job so bad because it was the thing that everybody was doing. It was the, you had this job, you was it. I wanted this job so bad. Interviewed, and I thought I had it, but then something happened. It was just humiliating for me. I think I must have cried like for about a week about that. But looking at it later on, I think maybe 2 or 3 years later, that whole department caved. Was shut down. And it was something illegal that was part of the process. And I'm like, thank God. So you got to always trust them no's, just like you trust them yeses, and look at it as, I dodged the bullet, because that's essentially what is happening. Chapter 21, the name of that chapter was Can't Wear a Crown with Your Head Down. Crowns are heavy, heavy. I always say, only your crown fits your head. So for me, what I'm taking out of that is, if your head is down because the crown is too heavy, maybe that ain't your crown. Maybe it's somebody else's crown. It's not fitting your head the way it's supposed to. That's that whole, for me, what's for them is not for you. What's for them is not for you. What's for you is right here. So you need to walk in your own lane, walk your own pace. Don't worry about how fast they got there. Don't worry about them taking their time to get there. Do you? You don't need to be validated by anybody. Don't try to win the approval of other people. Social media, because they're doing it, don't mean it's going to work for you. If somebody gets to success this way and you want that same success, you going the way that they went ain't always going to work. I can tell you right now, in most cases, it don't work. You got to go your own way to get to your own success. If somebody got there in 2 years and like they're successful, it might take you 5 years to get that same level of success because their journey is not your journey. Their experiences are not your experiences. We all come from walks of life. And in many instances, your success is going to meet you where you are right now. Where you are right now is where your success is going to meet you. If your sole approval is based on the opinions of others, you about to be disappointed because listen, what she talks about in the book, she tells you that their opinions shouldn't define you. Their approval shouldn't define you. Don't get caught up in that. This is a good self-help book to kind of motivate you to having more self-esteem. That's what I would say this book is. 50's book was more about success, overcoming fears to get to success. Jennifer Lewis' book, they both were autobiographies. Hers was an autobiography as well, but it was more of her struggles of life. That's what the difference was. 50 was success. Hers was about a specific lifestyle. This one is more of self-esteem. Yvonne is showing you another way of finding your self-esteem, having that strength to believe in yourself and know that you ain't got to be validated by nobody. I've never felt that way. I remember years ago, I used to always hear women my age talking about how it feels good to be validated. And I'm like, but why? Why is their opinion of you so important to you? Why? I never felt like I need to be validated by anybody because I'm going to do me regardless, whether you validate or not. I'm not even looking for your validation. So you can keep to yourself, for real, for real. It's never been the space or the energy that I've been in. I don't look for validation from anyone. I do what makes me happy. I do what gives me the most peace. I act on where my energies lie. Same thing with this channel. My channel may not be for everybody, and I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. If you resonate with it and you find something out of it, hey, that's a good thing. Give me a like, subscribe. This will be the time to do it. Yeah. But if not, I'm okay with that. I'm still going to keep on creating my content because I'm here for something bigger. My whole purpose of this channel is to be able to bring my future generations a part of me, a piece of me. That is why I don't require validation because I ain't doing it for no specific reason other than myself, my needs, and that's all that matters. The book was good. It wasn't as long as the others. Let me see. Let me go back and tell you how long this book was. 6.5 hours. Her account of it is how God tricked her into the life of her dreams. And when you read the book, I can see how she would feel that way. So it was a really good book. It's got like 5-star ratings. Still have like 6 other books that I need to talk about. And this is a lot longer. So I got to plan a little better. I'm probably not going to be able to get into February or March because I've been here literally for 4 hours and I've only gotten 3 books in. So that's a lot, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back on another day. I'll be more prepared. So on that note, my day went a lot longer than it was supposed to. I'm going to shut down so I can get some other things done. And thank you for coming. And I'll see you later. Bye. If you don't do anything, go get those books. Check them out. They were amazing. 50 was my favorite, but I love Jennifer. I love Yvonne. They were all good books. Check them out. And then when you do, come back here and leave me a comment and let me know how you like them. I'll see you later. Bye.